The oppressive force of spiritual power and Douqi weighed down on Xiao Yan's entire body, causing his bones to creak audibly under the pressure. Cough, cough, cough. Xiao Yan gasped for breath, his eyes burning with curiosity as they fixed on Elder Zhu standing before him. Judging by the level of Douqi he had just witnessed, Elder Zhu's strength wasn't far off from that of the Xinling King. Hehe, do you think I'm qualified to be your teacher now? Elder Zhu said with a slow smile. It seemed that he had to display some of his strength to properly put this boy in his place. I'd rather keep calling you Elder Zhu. Anything else just feels strange, Xiao Yan responded. No matter, it's just a title. I'm not too concerned about it, Elder Zhu said with a gentle smile. Elder Zhu, earlier you mentioned the unrivaled god of war. Zhu Jin, Xiao Yan asked, curiosity piqued. Oh, now you're interested, huh? Elder Zhu turned to look at Xiao Yan, his imposing aura receding as he spoke. The unrivaled god of war has quite the long history. Since you're my disciple, I suppose I'll share it with you, Elder Zhu said, his gaze shifting to the array scrolls in the wooden house. As Xiao Yan focused, he could sense a wave of immense pride emanating from Elder Zhu. Go ahead, Xiao Yan quickly fetched a stool and set it before Elder Zhu, gesturing respectfully for him to sit. Do you know the origins of the incense pavilion? Elder Zhu began. The origins of the incense pavilion? I've heard that it only accepts disciples with fire-based Douqi, and that only men are allowed. There isn't a single woman in the pavilion, which is why it's said to be overwhelmingly young in nature, Xiao Yan explained carefully. And there's also a rumor that the master of the Myriad Flowers Pavilion and the master of the Incense Pavilion once shared a romantic connection, though no one knows the details. That's supposedly how the Incense Pavilion came to be. You only know the tip of the iceberg, Elder Zhu said slowly. It's true that we have some connection to the Myriad Flowers Pavilion, but it's not what you think. In the beginning, we accepted female disciples as well, and the Myriad Flowers Pavilion had male disciples, though there were so few of them that only a handful remained. That's why people only know the part of the story that you do. Xiao Yan responded softly, but inwardly, he was deeply shocked. There were deeper ties between the Incense Pavilion and the Myriad Flowers Pavilion than he had ever imagined. This new information piqued his interest, especially because he had heard from his ancestor, the Golden Dragon King, that Yin Qi had some prior connection with the Incense Pavilion. Elder Zhu, about that connection? Xiao Yan started to ask, but then noticed a shadow crossing Elder Zhu's face, as if the old man were recalling an unpleasant memory. He hesitated before continuing. What I'm about to tell you is one of the greatest secrets of the Incense Pavilion. You should understand the gravity of that, Elder Zhu said cautiously. I understand. Xiao Yan replied immediately, knowing that this highest of secrets couldn't be revealed to a third party. The origins of the Incense Pavilion go back to a war with the extraterritorial evil clan thousands of years ago. At that time, the Seven Realms were embroiled in internal strife, constantly fighting over resources and invading other dimensions in a bid to expand their influence. During the war against the extraterritorial evil clan, the peak experts of the Seven Realms realized they had underestimated the power of the evil clan, suffering heavy losses as a result. But in the end, the strongest of the Seven Realms managed to force the clan back, restoring peace. Though peace returned to the Seven Realms, the dimensions under their rule were deeply affected by the lingering influence of the evil clan. The dark and terrifying powers of the evil clan wreaked havoc on many lower dimensions. Among the worst affected was the Xinling continent on the Dodi continent. At that time, the founder of the Incense Pavilion arrived in the mystic Three Heavens, discovering that the imperial aura here was incredibly rich, making it a perfect place for cultivation. With great effort, he drove out the evil forces of the extraterritorial evil clan and established the Incense Pavilion. Soon after, other founders of major sects followed suit, establishing their own sects in the area. But our founder and the founder of the Xinling royal family clashed violently. The cause of the conflict was that the Xinling royal family had their eyes on the very mountains we occupy. Our founder was a powerful figure, not someone the Xinling royal family's founder could push around. The two Do Xian experts fought an earth-shattering battle across the mystic Three Heavens. The battle lasted an entire year, and ended with the victory of our Incense Pavilion's founder. As for the Xinling royal family's founder, he died not long after the battle, with rumors suggesting that our founder had poisoned him. But honestly, it's laughable. Our Incense Pavilion has always operated with honor and integrity. We have no need for underhanded tricks. The Xinling royal family, on the other hand, is little more than a name. Don't think we aren't aware of the shady things they've done behind the scenes? Since then, the relationship between the Incense Pavilion and the Xinling royal family has been strained, practically like fire and water. Over the millennia, numerous skirmishes have erupted between us. As for my own title, it came after I joined the Incense Pavilion. When I first arrived, I quickly rose through the ranks with my immense spiritual power, becoming the Pavilion Master's personal disciple. Though the Mystic Three Heavens had no battle array masters at the time, the Pavilion Master scoured ancient texts and eventually cultivated me into a powerful figure. Given that the Xinling royal family is located near the Medusa clan, constantly facing their invasions, they desperately wanted to seize control of our mountains to resolve the looming threat. At one point, the Xinling royal family deployed a Douxian, 2 peak Dou Di experts, and several other powerful individuals to launch a large-scale attack on the Medusa clan. It was during that conflict that my name became known throughout the Mystic Three Heavens. Elder Zhu finished with a proud smile, clearly pleased with his reputation as a battle array master. When our Incense Pavilion learned of the Xinling royal family's plot, we couldn't allow them to annex the Medusa clan. Doing so would upset the balance of power and likely trigger a war across the Mystic Three Heavens. So the Pavilion Master sent me to intervene. During that battle, I relied on my perfect 8-star Dou Di strength and my skills as a battle array master to hold off the Xinling royal family's forces, working alongside the Medusa clan to deal a heavy blow to the Xinling royal family. Elder Zhu sipped his tea, his voice brimming with unconcealed pride. Elder Zhu, you single-handedly withstood all of the Xinling royal family's forces with just your perfect 8-star Dou Di strength and your skills as a battle array master? Xiao exclaimed in disbelief. According to Elder Zhu, the formation just described was comprised of a Douxian expert and 2 peak Dou Di experts, alongside many other powerful figures. Yet, Elder Zhu had withstood such a terrifying array with nothing but his perfect 8-star Dou Di strength. From Xiao understanding, a perfect 8-star Dou Di shouldn't have been enough to contend with a Douxian and 2 peak Dou Di experts. There was only one possible explanation: a battle array master. This title and profession, even in a place as densely packed with experts as the Mystic Three Heavens, was known to very few. But its significance could not be denied. A powerful battle array master was enough to rival a massive army. The true strength of a battle array master wasn't in single combat, but in group warfare. Their most terrifying ability was to halt tens of thousands of enemy soldiers or a multitude of powerful foes single-handedly. That was the true terror of a battle array master. In a large-scale battle, if the enemy's army or top experts were momentarily trapped or unable to act, it would be decisive for the outcome of the war. Too strong. Xiao eyes glazed over in awe. Just hearing Elder Zhu's words was enough for him to sense the immense power hidden within this seemingly frail old man. This is what a true battle array master is, Elder Zhu said slowly. In that battle, I used my status as a battle array master to hold off the entire might of the Xinling royal family, giving the Medusa clan the opportunity to regroup and launch a thunderous counterattack. We inflicted an irreparable blow to the Xinling royal family. As a result, the upper echelons of the Xinling royal family were furious, wanting to declare an all-out war against our Incense Pavilion. But the 9 super sects wouldn't let them have their way, so the Xinling royal family's discontent was suppressed through external pressure. Still, the Xinling royal family's hatred for our Incense Pavilion and the Medusa clan remains as strong as ever. They'll stop at nothing to try and eliminate us. As for why Solomon has such a close relationship with the Xinling royal family, I'm not sure. But one thing is certain: Solomon and the Xinling royal family are definitely hiding some dark secrets. So the Xinling royal family and Solomon really are. Xiao shook his head slightly, then turned to Elder Zhu once more. Elder Zhu, what are all these things in your house? Xiao feigned confusion, even though he had an idea. With someone as powerful as Elder Zhu before him, he had to ask while he had the chance. Heh, don't tell me you only just noticed these things with your Emperor Realm level spiritual power. Elder Zhu chuckled, his gaze shifting back to the scrolls as if deep in thought. These scrolls might look similar to the ones that record Do techniques, but battle array scrolls are something entirely different. Ordinary Do technique scrolls can be cultivated by anyone, except for those that have special restrictions or seals. But battle array scrolls are unique. If you aren't a battle array master, you won't even be able to open one of these scrolls. Close your eyes and try to sense them, Elder Zhu said, his eyes showing a rare tenderness as they lingered on the scrolls, as though they were his own children. Xiao nodded and followed his instructions, closing his eyes without worry. After all, this was the incense pavilion, and the man before him was one of its most important figures. There was no need to be cautious. Don't use your spiritual or soul power. Rely on your intuition. Use your hands to feel the connection with the battle array scrolls in this room. Elder Zhu's voice came softly just as Xiao was about to release his spiritual power. Xiao furrowed his brow slightly but raised his hands toward a silver-colored scroll. His palms, infused with the warmth of the 23 types of heavenly flames he possessed, touched the scroll. The moment his hand made contact with the silver scroll, it trembled strangely. The next second, a silver light shot out from the circular scroll, surging into Xiao arm and entering his body. What is this? Xiao was startled but remained calm. From what he could sense, the scroll was not an ordinary battle array scroll. The point he had touched seemed to be the core of the array. The core of the array. The core is the heart of the battle array scroll. Controlling the core would allow one to freely deploy and retract the array. Elder Zhu, what is? Xiao turned to Elder Zhu after a moment of thought. Hehe, how does the taste of that silver array core feel? Elder Zhu didn't answer Xiao question directly, but posed his own with a grin. The silver light, Xiao murmured. It seems to be something that was originally embedded in the scroll, but for some reason, it entered my body. Heh, not quite. Try sensing it again. Elder Zhu shook his head with a smile and gestured for Xiao to focus. Huh. Xiao, puzzled, took a deep breath and then released his aura fully. The silver light is in my Yuewen palace. He suddenly realized the silver light had nestled itself in his Yuewen palace. Confusion set in. How could the silver light sneak into his Yuewen palace without him noticing? Even though his spiritual power was at the Imperial Realm mortal grade, Xiao soul energy should have allowed him to detect anything within a few dozen miles. Yet, this silver light had gone unnoticed. Heh, that silver array core is the control hub of this battle array scroll. You can manipulate it through your natal inscription, Elder Zhu explained. The silver array core is quietly standing in my Yuewen palace, Xiao muttered, noticing that the core seemed intimidated by the divine motion core inscription suspended in his Yuewen palace. Well? Elder Zhu asked, have you absorbed the silver array core yet? Absorbed? Xiao hesitated, furrowing his brow. What's wrong? Haven't you absorbed it? Elder Zhu's tone shifted, becoming more urgent as he fixed his gaze on Xiao. No. The silver array core seems to have stopped in my Yuewen palace, Xiao replied honestly. There was no point in hiding it. What? Don't tell me. Have you already formed your natal inscription? Elder Zhu's face changed dramatically as soon as he heard Xiao response, his expression shifting to one of shock and anger. The rarity of a battle array master is akin to finding a grain of gold in the vast ocean, exceptionally precious. The birth of a battle array master is undoubtedly the mark of a peak expert. As for cultivating as a battle array master, the most crucial step is the formation of the core inscription. Without the core inscription, there can be no array to attack the enemy, and further cultivation is impossible. This explains why Elder Zhu's expression darkened the moment he heard that Xiao had already formed his natal core inscription. The formation of this inscription is as vital as selecting the right Do Qi technique for cultivation. If there's an error in forming the core inscription, or if it's too weak, recreating another natal core inscription later would be nearly impossible, like trying to climb to the heavens. Moreover, a weak core inscription would severely limit one's future achievements. Thus, Elder Zhu was understandably furious. You really are a troublesome kid. Elder Zhu snorted coldly, glaring at Xiao Yin. Elder Zhu, I had no choice, Xiao Yin responded helplessly, recalling the unknown elder from that time. He hadn't wanted to form his core inscription so easily, but under those circumstances, he had no other option. It was a foggy process that resulted in the inscription being formed without full understanding. Summon your natal core inscription and let me have a look, Elder Zhu said, his tone softening. Since Xiao Yin had already formed it, there was no way to undo it now, even with Elder Zhu's abilities. He could only hope the core inscription wasn't too weak, as its strength would determine Xiao Yan's future as a battle array master. All right, Xiao Yin replied, closing his eyes. A faint spiritual energy filled the room. Heh, this kid's spiritual power is already nearing the level of 6,000 inscriptions. Elder Zhu muttered to himself in surprise. He hadn't expected this level of strength. Before Elder Zhu could finish speaking, a pure white light emerged from Xiao Yan's Yuewen palace, hovering before him. At the moment Xiao Yan's divine motion natal core inscription appeared, the array scrolls in the room reacted as if paying homage to a king. The scrolls stood quietly, exuding an aura of respect. What is this? Elder Zhu's pupils shrank as he stared at Xiao Yan's inscription. Even with his experience, he couldn't identify its origin. One thing was certain, though. The strength of Xiao Yan's natal core inscription surpassed even his own. Elder Zhu? Xiao Yan asked, confused, as he noticed the shock in Elder Zhu's eyes. How did you come by this natal core inscription? Elder Zhu asked, his gaze fixed on the glowing symbol. From what I can tell, it wasn't something you formed on your own. It seems inherited. Xiao Yan scrutinized the inscription more closely. What he saw startled him. The originally fist-sized square rune had grown to the size of his palm since the last time he had summoned it. Not only had it expanded several times, but Xiao Yan could also feel his spiritual power rapidly strengthening, undoubtedly linked to the inscription. I obtained this natal core inscription from a certain relic, Xiao Yan answered truthfully. A relic? Elder Zhu's voice grew louder, as though he had just uncovered something significant. What relic? I remember the elder who passed it on didn't reveal his name, Xiao Yan hesitated, trying to recall. But I believe this natal core inscription is called Divine Motion. Divine Motion? Is it? Elder Zhu shook his head, his eyes betraying that he had never heard of it before. He didn't linger on the topic, clearly unfamiliar with the inscription's origins. Even though I don't know the full strength of your natal core inscription, it seems quite powerful. Now, let me explain the levels of a battle array master and a few other things, Elder Zhu said, his mood clearly improving. After all, what could be more satisfying than finding someone who shared the same path? All right. Xiao Yan's eyes lit up. The most perplexing issues he faced at the incense pavilion were related to spiritual power and battle array masters. Up to this point, he had been little more than a novice in their use. Spiritual power is different from soul power, though they are closely intertwined. The cultivation of spiritual power is divided into 7 stages. Inscription formation, array transformation, immortal master, heavenly master, earthly master, imperial master, sacred master. The first step in becoming a battle array master is forming inscriptions, granting you the qualification to cultivate spiritual power. This involves opening the Yuewen Palace and forming your natal core inscription. Array transformation is the second stage, where you master your core inscription and use it to create arrays to trap or attack your enemies. The remaining 5 stages signify the growth of your spiritual power. A battle array master is ranked from 1st to 10th grade, with each grade being determined by spiritual power. The more core inscriptions a battle array master can create, the more powerful the arrays they can deploy. The number of core inscriptions you can form reflects the strength of the arrays you'll be able to use, Elder Zhu finished, a smile creeping onto his face. Xiao Yan mulled over Elder Zhu's words carefully. And what about your rank, Elder Zhu? Xiao Yan suddenly remembered and quickly asked, his eyes filled with excitement. If Elder Zhu knew so many secrets, his own power had to be astonishing. Heh, you're always trying to pry into my affairs, Elder Zhu chuckled. But it's no secret. My spiritual power has reached the level of a heavenly master. As for my battle array master rank, I'm a 6th grade battle array master, Elder Zhu replied casually, as if stating the most ordinary thing. A heavenly master. Once a person's spiritual power reaches the level of a mortal master, they can rival a Dou Xian expert. A heavenly master's power must be even more terrifying. A 6th grade battle array master. A 6th grade battle array master's arrays are strong enough to contend with Dou Xian level experts. Xiaoyan thought to himself, utterly stunned. Heh, what's wrong, boy? Are you that shocked? Elder Zhu teased, noticing the dazed look in Xiaoyan's eyes. His voice was tinged with a warmth and affection Xiaoyan hadn't heard before. Elder, with your level of heavenly master spiritual power, I doubt even an average Dou Xian could stand against you, Xiaoyan said with difficulty. Even though he had held Elder Zhu in high regard before, the reality was hard to comprehend now that the facts were laid bare before him. Within Elder Zhu's frail-looking body, a terrifying power was hidden. When spiritual power reaches the level of a mortal master, you gain the ability to contend with half-immortals, or those who have just stepped into the Dou Xian level, Elder Zhu explained. As for a heavenly master, they can fight against fully-fledged Dou Xian experts. As for me, even if I can't defeat an ordinary one, or 2-star Dou Xian, I can still hold my ground without losing, Elder Zhu said after a moment of thought, his tone serious. A battle array master is that fearsome, Xiaoyan murmured to himself, clearly in awe. He realized that Elder Zhu's actual cultivation level remained in the Dou Di realm, likely at the 9-star Dou Di stage at most, but certainly not a Dou Xian. However, what shocked Xiaoyan the most was Elder Zhu's immense spiritual power, which, combined with his unique skills as a battle array master and his 9-star Dou Di strength, allowed him to contend with Dou Xian experts and emerge undefeated. No need to aim too high too soon. Your future accomplishments won't be any less than mine, Elder Zhu said reassuringly. Master, I will rely on your guidance from now on, Xiaoyan said with a smile, finally convinced of Elder Zhu's wisdom and strength. Xiaoyan then shifted his attention to the white divine motion natal core inscription suspended in front of him. I see that your natal core inscription is quite strange. Every time I try to probe its depths, I get repelled by some mysterious force, Elder Zhu remarked. Though I don't know why, your natal core inscription feels like an abyss, as vast as the sea, Elder Zhu observed as he carefully scrutinized the inscription. Hearing this, Xiaoyan frowned. The formation of this inscription was largely due to the mysterious elder from the relic, who had opened his Yuewen palace and granted him the inscription. The elder's name remained unknown, but Xiaoyan remembered one crucial detail. The divine motion natal core inscription was only a quarter of the whole. Wait! Elder Zhu's eyes narrowed, and he suddenly closed them, his spiritual power surging from his body like a flood. His spiritual power rushed toward Xiaoyan's divine motion natal core inscription, and the next moment, it passed through the core of the inscription. No wonder, Elder Zhu withdrew his spiritual power and smiled slowly. Cough, cough. Xiaoyan, clearly shaken, felt utterly insignificant in comparison to the vast spiritual power Elder Zhu had just unleashed. It was like a mere ant before a giant. Your natal core inscription is incomplete, Elder Zhu said. When I acquired the scroll and the relic, an unnamed elder opened my Yuewen palace and granted me the divine motion natal core inscription, Xiaoyan recalled. That elder mentioned that this inscription was only 1/4 of the whole. Don't worry. That won't matter much. It won't hinder your spiritual power cultivation either. Just focus on your training, and I'll take care of the rest, Elder Zhu said confidently, his voice carrying an air of pride. Thank you, Master, Xiaoyan said gratefully, glancing at Elder Zhu with respect. Given Elder Zhu's status and abilities, it seemed almost beneath him to serve as an elder at the incense pavilion. However, Xiaoyan didn't dwell too long on this, as he had come to recognize Elder Zhu as his teacher, and his teacher's rank was of little concern to him. You can put it away now. I can sense that your spiritual power cultivation is somewhat disordered. Have you learned how to properly cultivate spiritual power? Elder Zhu asked, frowning slightly as he sensed the chaotic flow of spiritual power within Xiaoyan. Well, Xiaoyan hesitated. Elder Zhu, I've never had proper guidance in cultivating spiritual power. I'm completely clueless about how it's done, which is why my progress has been so slow, Xiao admitted. If he had known the correct method earlier, his spiritual power would undoubtedly be much stronger by now. Heh, that's not surprising. Battle array masters are so rare that even on the entire continent, there are only a handful. Knowledge about spiritual power cultivation is equally scarce, Elder Zhu said thoughtfully. But from what I see, your spiritual power has already reached the level of array transformation. The fact that you've reached this level on your own shows that you have a deep understanding of what it means to be a battle array master, Elder Zhu added with a pleased expression. Elder Zhu, about the method for cultivating spiritual power, Xiao began to ask. Cultivating spiritual power is different from cultivating soul power as an alchemist, and it's also different from Do-Chi cultivation, Elder Zhu explained. The cultivation of spiritual power is rooted in meditation, or more specifically, in absorbing the essence of the sun and moon, Elder Zhu added, looking at Xiao with a wise and somewhat mysterious expression. Meditation? Xiao was surprised. Absorbing the essence of the sun and moon? This was the first time he had heard of such a method for spiritual power cultivation, and his confusion was evident. Well, that's enough for today. I'll teach you more after we return from the Xinling Imperial Pool. It seems we have guests at the Incense Pavilion today, Elder Zhu said, turning his gaze toward the door, which slowly opened, allowing him to peer into the distance. At the same time, a group of uninvited guests had arrived at the Incense Pavilion's domain of Scorched Heavens.